Hello, beautiful souls. It is I, Katie Morton.
And Jennifer Palmer. And Shelby.
And Shelby, my dog, who's covered up by the mic. We are both intuitives, energy healers, spiritual teachers, and together we are divinely guided.
And every Thursday we try to get connected with you live to answer any questions you may have for your loved ones and spirit guides.
Correctamundos.
All right.
So yeah, whenever you are ready, you may pose a question by typing it into the comments. We broadcast on Facebook, Rumble, and YouTube. And if you would like to see all the places where we do go live, you can go to divinelyguided.tv and you'll see information about our Thursday night lives. Yeah, and where we go live too. So you can subscribe to all our channels.
Yeah, when the energies are not crazy and we're able to connect. So if you like what we do, go ahead and share it and,
give us a little like and a little love.
And visit us on Rumble if you're on Rumble, because we're trying to build that a little bit too. And comment away.
Yeah, speaking of, I'm going to get on our Rumble page.
All right, so we've already got some things going here.
All right, cool.
Julie Getzinger. Hi, ladies. Would love a message from my spirit guides in regards to love.
Okay, Julie. Love. Sorry, I'm just going to move in closer to you. I feel like I'm falling off the edge.
We're shaking the table.
Shaking the table. Sorry, I won't touch the table.
It's an earthquake over here. So I'm feeling something connected actually with mom. It feels something to do with relationship patterns and ancestral healing and clearing that's going on there. And definitely a sense of not needing to rely on anybody else for, I don't know if I'm wording this right, but it's something along the lines of for what it is you're actually trying to manifest within your own heart. And it feels like the word codependency is way too much. Like, it doesn't feel like it's that. So that's not nailing it as far as what I'm trying to describe. But it does feel like there's just a connection with seeing it outside of you to bring it in, as opposed to diving within to bring it without. I think is the pattern that you're trying to break.
Yeah, that's a really great way to put it. Because what I was seeing is the idea of you as this really lovely, wonderful, delicious human being. And what you're looking for is someone to sort of like complete you. And instead and so what it leaves is this feeling of incompleteness or a lack of wholeness. And I think what they want you to do is to fill in that space for yourself. Mm-hmm. And so that you're not seeking it in a relationship, the feeling that you're looking for. So they're bringing to mind something that they've been having me practice lately, where you enjoy, if you can capture that feeling of what it's like to be in love, but there's no person attached to it outside of you. It's just, you're in love with life. We love the idea of romance. Sorry, my dog is drinking very loudly. We love the idea of romance and like that sweetness of life and the deliciousness of it. And we get that when we're in love with someone. But we can get that outside of romance, that ideally, right? We want to already have that. We want it to not depend on another person, because a lot of times what does happen is, we have those first blossoming stages of love where we feel like the world is painted in rose colors and everything is just so sweet and wonderful. And then it winds up unraveling because humans gonna human, and there wind up, we match each other's wounding, and there's disappointments and resentments, and then we wind up like where we can't maintain that feeling because the relationship gets sort of kludgy and broken, and then you break up and you start all over again. And so the idea is not needing anyone else in order to have that feeling. You can go through life feeling like I'm in love and there's no one there. So play with it, see what you can do.
Well, and it just feels like, once you switch whatever this is, the right person comes in. And because you're no longer looking for it to fulfill you, it's just like a natural alignment. And very long lasting is what I'm getting. And I heard something about mystery illness, but I don't think it's with you. I think someone else's guides are coming in. So I feel like that's coming for whoever that's meant to be for, but I wanted to say it because it's coming in. But I don't feel like it's for you, Julie. So I guess that's it.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Okay.
All right. Where are we? Faye Robbins.
Hey.
Hi, ladies. Do I have a message from loved one or guides? Love you guys. We love you too.
Yeah, absolutely. I do feel like there was a male energy. I feel like a loved one's coming in right now. Again, I saw a cigarette, so I don't know if it's more than one loved one or if it's a single loved one yet. I don't have a real feel for it yet. But then I saw what looked like maybe a muscle car, and it felt masculine energy. Whoever this is, I feel like they're trying to tell you that they're around and they're with you. And I feel like there's an acknowledgement of just some of the hard times you've been through over the last few years. I heard the number 6 years. I don't know what that is about, but I heard 6 years. And then I think it's from the same person, but although this might be more of a female or a feminine energy, it might even be a guide. I'm not sure. I was trying to discern where it's coming from, but I'm not real clear on that. But what I heard is blessings are coming.
Yeah, they just want me to jump in on that.
Mm-hmm.
So what they were saying, and this is for you, Faye, and for everybody, and the idea of the last several years have been really hard for, I would say,
geez, right?
Almost everybody that I know of.
Yeah, I know.
And what the guides were saying is that things are, well, they said many things. So I'll start with, they said, don't give up on manifestation. I think for a lot of us, it's been like, is this thing on? Can I manifest anything? And it's the idea that, well, they were showing like the idea of like all these big planets moving, and there's these massive world changes that have been happening, are still incoming, and the energies hitting the planet have been insane. So it's like if you have like one little person who's like trying to manifest, and then Jupiter goes like blah, it's like everything you're trying to do, it's like it just knocks your dominoes like this, so then they can't manifest, and you're like, this thing doesn't work. And basically what they were saying to me is
not to
like,
mention the karma coming up.
Yeah, right. Yeah, everybody's working through their karma and their ancestors' karma, and it's like, can we get anything accomplished here? But what they were showing is there's a few more months, I feel like, at least I guess, of the astrology where it's like super bonkers. It's an astrological term, super bonkers. And then
like a supernova.
Yeah, right. So super bonkers. but it was like, in the meantime, don't give up on the manifestation techniques, because what they said we're doing with those is that even though it's not showing up right now, and they're giving the idea of, I was starting with manifesting and doing visualizations back in like 2011, 2012, I started really concentrating on it and vision, like every day I would sit down to meditate and I would visualize and I would create vision boards and all this. I manifested pretty much an exact replica of what I was trying to do with our first retreat in March, things that I've been trying to manifest. So it took many, many years and a very long, convoluted way to manifest these retreats, these personal development retreats that I've been trying to manifest way back when. So the point is that even though I did that way back when, and for a while there I was thinking, well, that didn't work, that was pointless, it did, and it actually manifested almost to a T, down to like the types of clothing that I was wearing. So it was like, oh, okay, that actually, and I had ETs go clothing shopping with me to find, in retrospect, I was like, oh, to find the stuff that I had been trying to like manifest. So
that's funny.
Yeah, they're saying like, don't give up on the manifestation techniques, even if it doesn't show up right away. And just to not to discourage you with that story of that it took almost 10 years for me to manifest. It's not like that anymore. The energies are much faster now, and we don't have to put in that level of work and wait that long. It's definitely picking up faster now. So just because it maybe doesn't show up immediately, know that it is coming and you are in the creative process. And even though we have all the wonky energies coming and that make it seem like it's malfunctioning, it's like, keep at it. The other thing they said was this idea of a polarity shift on Earth, in terms of, in the past, the negative was always kind of riding the wave of negative 3D energy, and they were it was easier for them to manifest what they wanted, which was control and manipulation and gaslighting of the population. And what they said was that now that the sort of the energy is flipping so that the positive is on top, people like us who are trying to manifest things for the greater good, for the best and highest good, now that is actually what's going to start having the upper hand in manifestation, and what's going to start coming through much more strongly in the physical, and what's going to start showing up. So when you're manifesting, try to manifest with the idea of service and how can I help, and manifesting in a way that's very positively polarized, because that's the stuff that is going to gain better, faster magnetism and attraction, considering the energies and the way that they are changing. Sweet. Sorry, that was a lot packed in. I was like, oh my God, I better talk fast.
Yeah, and I just want to add, I think this is really for all of us, anyone who's listening, and, hopefully you pass this on to other people too that you know. Just this little message, this little piece. What are we manifesting as a collective? What is it that we really want? And, we get very wrapped up in our own personal things a lot of times, and for good reason. They're our lives, and we have a lot to consider with our lives. But it's the whole collective. What is it that we want to bring in, and what kind of world do we really want to see? That's what we need to be focusing on really strongly right now. And I think that's all that's coming through with that. Okay. All right. Lauren Regal. Oh, hi. Oh, we missed Susan. Oh, I missed Susan. Susan Littlefield. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
We'll do Susan first. I have a lot going on. Should I take something for allergies? Okay. So, it's funny. Whenever I hear someone say allergies or anything like that, I immediately go to the supplement called C60 or Carbon 60. And so I double checked it. I was like, is that what you want me to say? And I heard, yes, please. So if you haven't heard of it, it's just that it's a supplement. It's all carbon. And some makers are better at it than others. Some were more like activated charcoal, evidently, and some were more like true carbon 60 with the fullerenes. And you want to make sure you get a good high quality version of it. And there's different ones out there, but generally speaking, the more you pay for it, probably the better it is, the higher quality it is. And I've got, if you want to, I'm not going to like promote any particular one right now, but if you want to, there's a good one that we sell at Nourishing Journey that, you can private message and I'll send you that information.
I take that one and I like it. So.
It's very good. It's very good.
Yeah, and I normally have terrible allergies, and it helps me a lot. So, and I give it to my dog too because she always has a runny nose.
Yeah, and it helps. Yeah, it helps a lot. And it's good for other things too. It's good for detox, and you can't claim that it heals things, but it kind of heals some things.
It does good stuff. Yeah, I mean, I recommend it for everybody. And, really, but.
Yeah. So I would look into it. It's a good thing. And I would start slow and work up because I tell you in the beginning, when I first started taking it, I only took one drop, not a dropper, but like a single little drop. And I could tell I took it. So I would start slow and work up to like 1 or 2 droppers a day, probably.
I take 6 droppers a day. So, but I did start slow too. So there you go.
So I get a sense, I was trying to tune into the energy of, you said you have a lot going on, and the word I heard was scattered. Like the intentions are scattered. The world feels kind of scattered. And what they showed me, and I don't know if I can do this justice because it was more of a feeling that I got than I'm not hearing it. It's more of a feeling. So I'll do my best. But it's just this idea of kind of coming in, and the focus is more central. It's within. And the rest of this stuff, it's like what you focus on expands and what you resist persists. A lot of times when we have health issues or things like that, we hyper focus on a particular thing that's not right in our lives. And instead of addressing it and keeping the focus within or with love or compassion or the higher spiritual self or whatever, it is we're walking through, you want to walk through these things, but you don't want to identify as these things. And it feels like it's some of that, like, some of the confusion and the approach and the energy. It just feels very out of alignment with who you are, really. And I just heard the word peace. I'm trying to figure out. I think they want you to feel more peace, I think is what they're trying to say here. And you will feel more peace if you're not really focused on all the things that you're trying to fix. And I know that's hard. That's hard, easy for me to say and hard to always do because we have things that happen in our lives and it's not what we want. And so then we focus on the things that we don't want and it ends up bringing more of that to us. It is a big principle in manifestation, but also too, when we keep only focusing on those things, the things that we really want to expand can't expand. So it's both sides of the coin there that you need to apply.
Yeah, just sort of focusing on the solution, not the problem.
Yeah.
And they just gave me the analogy of like, when we drive a car, we're not like, oh no, there's a bear, I'm going to hit the bear, driving into the bear. It's like, okay, well, there's a bear over there. I'm going to keep the wheel straight. Don't freak out.
The bear.
I almost hit a bear with my car once. There was a juvenile bear on somebody's lawn, and this guy had a riding mower, and he was chasing the bear. And the bear was like running at full speed, and my car is coming, and the bear was coming for my car, and then the bear saw my car and went like, eep! And it was like caught between me and a lawnmower, and it was like, oh! And I was like, dude.
That's scary.
So
that's scary.
It was definitely exciting. I didn't hit the bear. So don't hit the bear.
All right.
Real life example.
I don't think there's anything else. So anyway.
Lauren Regal says, oh, hi.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hi. Is the one thing my guides would like me to know, what is the one thing that my guides would like me to know that would make everything else easier or unnecessary? I love that question.
That is a good question. I want to know the answer to that
I
question.
know. It's like the secret to life. Yeah, so I'm getting for you personally, Lauren, there's something to do with not caring what other people think. And I don't think that, here's the thing, we all do to some degree. And I don't think that this is like a major issue for you, but we all self edit to some degree. And we all make decisions to some degree, at least in part, based on other people. And so for you, if it's really about this radical self love, that if you had that radical self love and self confidence such that you could make decisions sort of like in a bubble, and you didn't have to consider this, that, oh, it could have like, it could displease someone or there could be a domino effect on other people. It does feel like there'd be some, I'm seeing like a lot of hoops that you currently feel as if you need to jump through, and those just kind of falling to the ground, and it would eliminate some of the unnecessary struggle.
Well, and what I was getting before you started talking, I just started coming in, taking things too seriously. It's important not to take any of this too seriously. Um, it feels like it's so important because we get so into the minuscule details of our lives, and we want this to just be perfect. We want that to be perfect. And, but when you really step back and stand out, and then you do, I think this goes hand in hand with what you're saying, and you just don't attach. You're here to move through an experience, basically. And we're here for so much more than the outcomes. And it's really more about the process than it is the outcomes. And if you can remember that, you don't get too attached to the outcomes. And you also don't care as much about what everyone is thinking about your outcomes.
Yeah, I was getting the sense too of that idea that, oh gosh, like if I do what I want, for example, it's going to set off somebody or it's going to put them in a mood. And it's like, well, who cares? It's not their life,
Yeah,
sort of that feeling. Yeah, of not taking other people's reactions so seriously or your own. Yeah, it's like kind of getting out of your own way in that sense. And I think applies to everybody as well. We could all use a little more of all of this.
And it doesn't mean that what your outcome isn't important. I want to make that clear too. It's about being able to move through it, knowing that you're going to get whatever outcome you need to get, and to not ever feel like a failure, because you're moving through a process. You're here to learn and grow and expand and ascend. It's not about the job or the lover or whatever it is. It's not even really about that.
Yeah, I've just heard it's about experiences, and they keep saying like things like the deliciousness of life. A lot of us, we kind of wrap ourselves in bubble wrap, and we don't even want to leave the house because something can go wrong.
Yeah.
And we wind up reducing our world to like a Groundhog Day like existence, and we get afraid to try new things because it all can seem pointless. So I feel like we all, in some senses need to get out there a bit more, like bulls in china shops, then don't worry about breaking some things, just like give it a shot.
Yeah, and the last thing I'm hearing is, so this is more than just the one thing, but
I know we're giving you a
all as well.
Yeah. Well, and another thing, Lauren Regal.
All as well.
Yeah. And I'm also hearing like you're doing pretty great. I think the other part of it is just giving yourself more credit where credit is due, and don't be as hard on yourself. Yeah, there's something about releasing the conscience a little bit. Because we always want to do the right thing, of course, and a lot of times what we observe in other people is not enough conscience. But it can be it's one of those pendulums that we like to talk about. There's one end of it where someone like they take on too much responsibility, too much blame, too much concern about other people's feelings is on the one end. The other end is somebody who's like, I don't care, I do what I want, and they don't care who they trample. That's like not great either. So it's like that sort of balance where we have like a reasonable amount of concern, but also being able to discern when we are making our own life decisions and when we are proceeding. Sometimes we put way too much stock in simply the opinions of other people when it's really none of their business. It sounds like that's none of their business. Some of the major, for example, I'm feeling like a career choice, for example. If it could disappoint parents, for example, that sort of thing, where it's like, who cares? Like, they're adults, you're an adult. And I'm not saying this is specifically for you, but like that's one example of it where a lot of people get in their own head about that, where my parents are going to think I'm like a lunatic. So, oh well.
Yeah, I feel like they pulled back. I'm not really getting anything else.
Yeah, same. All right, good luck with all of that.
Yeah, all as well.
Let us know.
Ariana Silverstern. Hello, Ariana. It's been a long time.
Yeah, hey, Ariana.
Hi, ladies. What messages are there for me?
Okay.
I'm not quite sure what this means yet, but I saw like outer space and there were stars and planets and then I see you and I just kind of see you almost like short circuiting a little bit. Like there's this energy coming in and there was like a short circuit. But it felt good. It didn't feel like a bad thing. It feels like the energies are trying to integrate, but there was a lot coming in. I do feel like it was some sort of an activation of sorts.
Yeah, and I was also getting, because I think there's a lot of energies doing a lot of different things. I was also getting like removing some layers for you, whatever that was. I felt like shaving off layers, energetic detritus that you don't need anymore. Flotsam and jetsam. Weird terms, but okay.
Yeah, and I also just want to say, you're never alone. It definitely feels that there's a lot of presence with you. You're feeling very supported to me right now.
And I'm hearing to give yourself a pat on the back for your soul growth and your spiritual growth. You've done a lot of work and you've come a long way. Always, as we know, more to go, but good job. Great job. I say that. I feel like your guides are really proud of you and pleased. And they like the trajectory that you're on. And I heard more coming, so stay open to that. And more understanding of yourself coming as well. I feel like there's going to be some puzzle piece unlocked for you. so I'm getting Southern pull back.
Yeah, I wasn't getting much. I think you were getting the rest. Yeah. Well, good to chat with you, Ariana.
Yeah.
Hope you're well.
Okay, Carrie Ann Cusack. Hey,
Hi.
Carrie. Carrie Ann Cusack says, hello, ladies. Any messages for me today?
I'm not sure what this means yet, but I'm seeing, it looked like, at first it was like a sparkle, but then I think I realized it was a star, and it was like, you know how like a star gets brighter and then does this? It was like, I'm gonna say it was like a throbbing star. I don't know what else to call it. It was like, ooh, ooh, ooh. And but I don't know what goes with that. I don't know what the message is with that yet.
I just heard ET phone home. I think it was the idea of connecting with your star family and them kind of sending out signals and energies and messages.
That makes sense.
And I'm hearing try to connect with them more. I don't know if you're aware of who that is. I can't remember. And I just heard concentrate on it. It's important.
And I just saw like a thread and needle, and then I heard thread the needle. I think they want you to be kind of specific. What that shows me, you know, when you're threading a needle, you need to get like right in the eye there. And with some star systems, from what I understand, at least my experience is that some of them it requires a really fine tuning to really connect with, and others, you know, you can be a little more broad in your approach. This feels like it needs to be. I got a hair in my mouth.
I can thank my dog for that.
Oh my gosh. I think I got it.
Good times.
Yeah, nothing like trying to talk with hair like across your face.
Right.
And I don't know, is it gone?
Like, do I see it?
Is it gone?
I think it might be gone.
I'm not feeling it.
Okay, good.
Hair flying around.
I'm sorry. I vacuumed today. I swear to God, I did.
She just walks by and hair goes flying.
Not me, the
not
dog.
The dog.
God.
Sorry, Carrie. My goodness. Carrie Ann Cusack.
Threading the needle. Precision.
Precision.
Yeah.
Don't lose focus.
Right.
Really tune in and get in with that star system, whatever it is. I'm not really hearing a name or anything, but even if you don't know what it is, it may not even matter. Just connect to home.
And I'm hearing to ask for an attunement. I think that might be part of the message in terms of like being precise with the energies. You know, we've had that experience of, you know, we can connect really easily to a particular star system, but then there's a particular group within the particular star system that we need an attunement, and there's like a different sort of frequency to connect with them, and they're like a certain group within the broader group. So it feels to me like it's something like that. So you can ask for the appropriate attunement, and that can help.
Yeah, I think that's it, lady.
All right.
My turn or your turn? My turn? Okay. Christy Wren.
Hi.
Hello, loves. Any messages for me tonight, specifically about business growth and forward movement? Thank you and hugs.
Hugs.
Right back at you.
Yes.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is the foundation has been mostly laid. Enough of a foundation anyway that you can design what this is supposed to look like for you. I think this comes in like the whole manifestation piece, quite honestly. What is it that you really would like to see? And not in the details as far as, you know, I want this number of clients, I want to do these specific things and, you know, these services or whatever. It's feeling more like it's about the bigger picture, like what is it that you really want to be of service about? Like, where is your passion and really bringing that forth? And I think you know what this is, but it's just actually aligning with it is part of it, but it's also this idea of plan for it, like expect it to start happening and make movement towards that. And there's this, I'm sure the fears that come up around the things that still need to be healed and worked through and worked on and developed.
They want me to pipe in real quick about that. The idea too of when you feel anxiety about undertaking something new or expansion or this growth, the idea of it transmuting the anxiety into excitement for it. And so working that angle, because sometimes we're like, no, don't feel anxiety. And it's like, no. And it's like, well, a different approach is just like, oh, there it is. I'm excited. Sort of.
That doesn't work for me so much.
Sometimes, it depends on what it is and if the fear is real or not. Sometimes if it's like, well, there's nothing really to be anxious about and it's just coming up. It's different if there's actually, you're going to crash your car into a bear, right? Okay. You might feel anxiety. It's really hard to get excited about that. But sometimes if we can see, oh, this is that old emotion I have, the pattern of, the habit of the emotion is arising in my body. My body's making those chemicals. You can sort of go, oh, okay, well, there's actually no physical threat here. There's no true thing to be scared about. Then you can sort of work on, I'm going to rewire this into excitement. It's, it sort of depends on, because I don't think that when you have fear, it's usually, well, maybe there's like something scary. I'm not saying, Christy, that you never have fear when there's something scary. I know you do, but I know sometimes you have fear when it's not necessarily like.
No, I've definitely had irrational fears.
Yeah, so have I.
Yeah.
So I know. But it's like, it just depends on the scale of it and the scope of it. And I feel like this, what is coming up is transmutable in this instance, is what I'm getting.
Yeah, and act anyway. It doesn't matter if you're afraid, just do it. Because that's one of the best ways to get over any kind of fear. Aside from healing the core root of it, sometimes it is a test and it's a challenge. And when we're stepping into our mission, we are going to face some of our biggest fears. And we really need to dive in and just choose it and do it. And don't make any excuses about it. Just step into it. And then before you know it, it's no longer a fear. It's just like, oh, why did I wait so long? I just heard actionable steps. I think they want you to really lay out. It doesn't have to be like, on this day I'm going to do this, on this day I'm going to do this, but kind of like a basic outline of, to get this thing going and to really do what I'm feeling passionate about, I will need to have this in place and this in place and this in place and this in place. And then just start chunking it and taking that first thing.
I guess the same thing, chunk it out.
Yeah. And just kind of dive in and start doing it. Do the things.
Do the things. That's your guidance. Okay, Christy?
Do the things.
Chunk it out, then do the things. Cool. I just saw you go, that sounds good. I feel really good. Okay, good.
I hope so.
I hope so.
Look, more hair flying around.
Oh, Shelby.
Oh, love that dog.
All right, Carrie Goulet. Hi, Carrie.
Hey, Carrie.
She says, any messages about this crazy energies?
Right?
The wild and crazy energies. Well,
it has really been nuts.
It's been bananas. Well, I mean, just in case you're not aware, both Jupiter and Mercury went direct this week. So if you're having tech issues, it's like, because Jupiter is the planet of gifts and good luck and expansion, and it tends to expand everything it touches. And as Mercury goes direct, there's always more of those kludgy tech energies. So yeah, everybody's having tech issues. But what else? Let's see. I'm also hearing, spiritual battle energies. Like that's a thing that's been kind of ongoing. And to, continue tree of lifing anything that you feel is getting kludged up, because it can undo curses and spells that can be flying around in the midst of all of it, whether they're intentional or unconscious, that people are always kind of mucking up the works.
Yeah, for anybody who's like, what is tree of lifing? What? That's actually a technique that we use in holistic metamorphosis. It's an energy healing modality that Carrie's been trained in. So she knows how to do it.
Yep. Yeah, and I'm just seeing like big, like galactic cosmic. It was this column of white light very strongly beamed down onto the planet. I think they're really trying to cleanse and clear a lot out. And this has felt to me like yet another one of these like final throes of death throes of the old ways, and before we move into better feeling energies. And so they're kind of clearing out the old and making way for the new, for sure. But what that can do is bring up like Jenn has used the end of the tube of toothpaste analogy before. I think like a year ago you were saying that. Well, and we're still saying it now. That's a big ass tube of toothpaste with a lot left to. We're cutting it open and scraping the dregs at this point. So everybody hang tight. I just heard not much longer. For real this time. Yeah, and they're just bringing up the idea of the last few years. A lot of people have felt like it's Groundhog Day, and there was something to do with time looping that we were sort of stuck in. And I've been told we've officially moved out of the time looping, and we're on to actually time that can unfold and move forward with new things.
Okay.
And I just heard, listen, Toots, just hang tight. It'll all be better soon.
Yeah, and I just heard massive awakening. And I was like, okay, is there anything else you want to say with that? And they're like, no, massive awakening. So I think we're right there, and this whole great awakening thing that's happening. And as people continue to awaken and see what's been going on in this world of ours, like I'm seeing like this vibration and this shakiness and this unsteadiness, but at the same time, there's this, how like when you first wake up and you're kind of stumbling around and you're like bumping into walls and trying to find your glasses or something, I don't know, but just trying to find your way and find the light switch. That's kind of like where we're at right now. People are jumping up out of bed and like, oh, what's going on? But it's an important time, and it feels a little bumbly, but I feel like real soon, like the lights are on and we're going to be like, oh yeah, there are my glasses. Oh, wow. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, okay. There it is. That dirty laundry all over my floor. I now see it. But anyway, it's going to happen, and it's happening real soon. I just heard message complete. So I think that's it. Is there anything else?
I think that is it.
All right.
All right.
Jillian Jacqueline. Hey, Jillian.
Hi, Jillian.
Hey, ladies. Hope everyone is doing well. Any messages for me?
Okay.
I don't know what this is trying to show me, but I saw like little pieces of cereal, and then I saw a whole bunch fall all over the floor. So I don't know if that's something that's happened to you, or if it's symbolism yet. I'll see what I can get.
Oh gosh. Now they were showing me like then somebody walking through the cereal and it's like crunch, 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 and it leaves like all those little like crumbs all over the floor, and it's like sticking to your feet.
Well, what it feels like to me when I'm feeling into the message, and we'll see what else comes here, but it feels like life has crumbled, or it's fallen apart, or it's been that way for a while. It just doesn't feel like or you might pick up some pieces and then more happen, or the pieces you thought you had ended up crumbling into more pieces, or it just feels like it's been hard to pick up those pieces.
And you don't even have a vacuum cleaner.
Oh Lord, that would be awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to get a dog.
And the analogy continues. They're showing me the idea of like when you have one of those dustpans that are like really cheap and they don't work well. It's like the bristles on the brush are too like long and loose and flimsy, and they just sort of push the mess around, and they don't really push it into the pan. Like where you always get that line of crud that won't go over the lip of the dustpan.
Okay, so what someone just came in and said, because I was like, what is this about? What they just came in and said, you shouldn't be eating cereal anyway. It was meant to fall apart. So whatever it is this is representing, it wasn't meant to be long-term or long-lasting or the way in which you move forward. It was meant to fall apart. That saying, sometimes things need to fall apart before things can come together. But the sense is that these things are not meant to come together. These things are meant to be swept away. It's meant to be done. But there has to be an awareness of that, because it feels like you're just you keep fighting to pull it together, but you're not meant to pull that together. Like, get a dog, let it lick it up and move on. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need to put it together or put it in a pile or anything. It just needs to move forward. No need to rescue those pieces.
They just showed you leaving the house and going to a restaurant. Like, this is a completely different change of scenery, different everything, different food. Pick a different path, I'm hearing. And one that's delicious and serves you well.
And I just heard emotions, and what it reminds me of, and I think what they're trying to say with this is, a lot of times we have this whole thing, your emotions are not necessarily always speaking truth. Our emotions are often a result of our thinking and the way we're seeing something and the way we're approaching something.
And wounding and conditioning.
Yeah, exactly. And the way, all the distortions that we all have distortions in the way we see things. And, so all of that's coming in, information comes in, or an experience happens, and then it ends up that you're stuck in it. Well, the way to get unstuck is to remember that your emotions are a result of other things. And just because you're feeling a certain way, it doesn't make you wrong in feeling that. It's just that's not where the truth lies. And, when we're upset about something, we have every right to be upset. And it's not to say that, but it's to get us beyond the reactionary space and into where the gold is, where the healing is, where the mind mastery is. To pull us out of the situation, because that's what we're really meant to get in it.
Yeah, they just want me to talk about a few. I've had similar experience of what Jen's talking about. So, for example, when I was younger and I was very much identified with a particular corporate career I had been in, and it was very lucrative. And when I lost my job, it was like that cereal fell on the floor, and I was like trying to like put it back together, like, because I just felt that was how I needed to function. That was my identity. It was how I made my money. It was everything to me. And so when I lost it, it was like, all right, well, I'm on the same path. And I kept trying to get jobs that would line up with the prestige and the money that I had. And that's what I thought that I needed. And then when I finally did get one and I realized, oh, this isn't where it's at. And it sort of confirmed for me, like, that was actually the best thing that ever happened to me. After I kind of got over it and stopped trying to recreate that scene. That's also happened to me before in love life and feeling like I needed a certain relationship. And I'm feeling that maybe for you, this is about relationship. And it was like this idea of like, I needed this particular person. And when it fell apart, it was like, oh gosh, like once, like yet again, it was like, I shouldn't have even been eating cereal,
Time to go low carb.
Right? That really wasn't for me. It was like, choose a different path. So like every time that the universe puts up blocks and it can take things from us that we feel that we desperately wanted or needed, or we felt like it was like that it was like our nectar, our ambrosia, what we needed to feel good and feel alive. And so if we're in that space with it, it's impossible to move on and into greener pastures. So I feel like they just want you to know, like, it's okay to move on, like go to greener pastures. Like there's, when I talk about manifestation, I always like to say, when someone's trying to manifest anything, whether it's a job, relationship, ask for this or something better. And even if you think that this thing that you want is the ultimate, there is no better. That's never true, because the universe is infinite. And so it can always be better. So if you have that idea in mind, I like to say, like, take the lid off the idea of how awesome your life could be and how perfect a job could be or how perfect a partner could be. It could always be even better, beyond your wildest imagination. And so when we all realize that the gifts that the universe is capable of giving to us are just astounding and beyond what we could conjure up ourselves in our own imaginations, and we're open to receiving that, whatever that is, whatever the ultimate is, and just putting out that willingness to let go of whatever's in the past and what didn't work out, and to move into way greener pastures, much better. Not even a pasture, like a palace in the sky, better.
Yeah, and along with this, it's really interesting. A concept I've been playing around with lately, because I had a client that came in and the message was, if you find that you need something, it needs to be healed. That's what you really need. You need to heal the need. And because it's that need that gets us attached. So if you need a relationship, or you need a specific person in a relationship, or if you need money, or if you need something, if you need peace, if it's not even about what you need, it's about the healing that needs to occur within you, or the consciousness work, or whatever it is, to align better. Because anytime you're attached or you're in need of something, you're probably not necessarily going to get what you think you need, because the energy is just it's too needy.
Yeah, they want me to talk about the example of, let's say you were to use the word codependent tonight. So I'll use that as the example. The codependent thinks that they need another person in order to feel okay. And it's like, well, no. Like, what they really need is self-love and healing, and to not need. That's what they really need. So it's really the opposite of what they think they need. Anyway,
I think that's it.
And I'm also just kidding. And once they do that healing work, then, only then, are they able to manifest a healthy relationship and what it is that they really would want, but they don't even, in the unhealed state, they can't even tell what that would be. So, if that makes sense.
I always like to use the example, it's really funny. I've known many people who they tried to get pregnant, and they really just wanted to have a baby, and it was the need. It was their biggest desire. They were heartbroken. They wanted children. They went through IVF. They did everything they could. And when they finally gave up on the idea of needing to get pregnant, and even getting to the point where they started the adoption process, they suddenly got pregnant. I even know somebody who ended up with an adoption and a baby all pretty much at the same time. They had both. They had 2 babies. Talk about abundance.
Wow.
Anyway. All right. I think that is
all. Yeah.
All right.
Whose turn?
I don't know. I don't remember.
I'll read it.
Okay.
Rainy Day.
Hello, Rainy Day.
Hi, Rainy Day. Says, hello, gorgeous ladies. I was wondering if you could tell me anything about my twin flame relationship. Okay.
So I just heard mission, mission, mission. And what's coming to me with this is, the thing with the twin flame relationship is both parties need to be in alignment with the bigger mission, and so much more. It's one of the most difficult relationships there is, as you probably know, since you're asking about it. It's just, everything needs to be in alignment, and there's a lot of growth and development and all kinds of things that need to come into play. But if the bigger picture stepping into mission is not there, then it's not probably going to happen. But I feel like there's an alignment, and I will say, whatever this is, it feels positive. So I don't feel like it's like, oh, you're doomed. But it does feel like things are, it's not completely in alignment or whatever right now, or there's certain things that maybe are not quite there.
Yeah, what I was getting is that at this point in time, what the guides really want you to focus on is yourself and the idea, like everything Jen was saying, like the idea of going really deep on your own mission, like the part of it that is solo. Some twin flames have missions together. And one mistake I've seen some make is they're like, well, I have this mission with this twin flame, and so then I'm just gonna like focus on attracting the twin flame, and they're like super into the idea of this passionate love affair, and they sort of let the mission go by the wayside because they figure, well, I'll do that when, more fully or more perfectly when I'm in union. And they just want to warn you off of that. I was sort of seeing like a little bit of like a warning bell in terms of we all have, as souls, as individual souls, we all have our own missions. Even if people are twin flames, they have their own mission that is outside of the twin flame relationship. And often what has to occur is that both twins need to get into much stronger, better alignment. I do feel like this applies to your situation in terms of your own soul mission and really rocking that and doing all the things. We talked a lot. I can see a lot of the guidance that came through on this live tonight that would apply to you. So I would go back and watch the whole thing and maybe listen for those threads that resonate for you. But it felt like the idea of really going deep into self and self-love and your mission and being fully self-expressed and doing all those things to make your life so amazing and perfect that at the end of the day, you're like, meh, twin flame, which is hard to do, right? Because it's like that, people are like, I need my twin flame. It's like where you get out of that hard desire of it, because that is a hard part when there's the desire and you're in separation. Kind of sucks. So moving to the stage where you're in separation, but you're like, it's awesome. And you don't even care. This sounds crazy.
That's exactly everything I was getting.
Yeah.
Yeah. The mission was very much, I'm not talking about the dual twin flame mission. I was talking
your
about
mission.
Yeah.
Rainy Day's mission. And nothing to do with that.
Exactly.
It's like moving to
And
that.
the other person, whoever that is, they need to be fully in alignment with what they came here to do, or it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, and you're not even worrying about their piece of it, though. That's their job. You are your job, if that makes sense. It's like in Dirty Dancing, like, this is my dance space, and that's your dance space. Like, let them be over there. You be over here. Dancing by yourself. Now they are playing Billy Idol's Dancing with Myself.
I was singing the same thing. Yeah, I know. I wasn't going to sing it, but
I was like,
yeah, it's so funny. I wasn't going to sing it, so they must have put it over to you.
Yeah,
it's really
they
funny.
did. Well, obviously, I'm not singing it either. So. I
think somebody's loved one is here. I feel like there was more than one to say. Mm-hmm. So, there is a lot of magic and beauty in the twin flame relationship, and there is nothing quite like it. And this is not to take away from that. And quite honestly, I think that a lot of times in the twin flame relationship, that shows up so prominently in the beginning, like the craziness with like the higher selves showing up and just all of that amazing spiritual experience that twin flames seem to have with each other.
And the synchronicities.
And yes, many things. And that's all amazing and beautiful. And it's to try to get you to want to be on the right path and in alignment with your soul's mission. And ultimately, the whole purpose of the meeting is expansion and growth and being hyper activated into what your mission is. So definitely keep that as your focus. And I think that's it.
I think that's it too. All right. Well,
All right.
it is
Hope that helps you
time.
guys.
Yeah, I hope so too. It's 8 o'clock.
We have a couple of classes coming up, and I'm trying to remember the dates.
November 13th is our crystal activation class.
Which we're doing in person and in Zoom. And if you come in person, you'll get a bag of crystals. You know, if you're on Zoom,
sorry, they can't pass it through the computer, but you'll still get a really awesome activation that it activates you to more strongly resonate with crystals so that you can better feel them and work with them and to really
the crystal consciousness.
luxuriate in those beautiful energies and
to do healing with them.
Yeah, to be a better, stronger conduit to crystal energies. So, and we're going to teach all kinds of different techniques about how you can work with crystals. And I'm so excited.
I think it's like December, it's a Saturday, either December 11th or 13th, whatever that is. I'm doing an archangel activation as well. So that will be fun. And that will be both in person and on Zoom.
Yeah. So go to nourishing-journey.com and find the events tab
and check it out
and join us. Yeah.
And actually Katie does meditations as well.
Full moon meditations. So there will be one in November, one in December. Those events aren't up yet, but I will get on that. And so keep an eye out. Keep checking back on the events page.
And check out our soul growth group.
Yeah, go to divinelyguided.tv and join our soul growth group to learn intuitive techniques.
All right.
All right, we love you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. And we will see you next week.
Bye. Bye, guys.
Bye.